When we refer to incest, we are talking about the sexual abuse of a person by a family member. Whether experiencing this abuse as a child or an adult, the extremely traumatic experience has a lasting harm for the survivor. It is a story that needs to be told, insists Geetika Tyagi, who is my guest today and will be talking about her new film, Yes Papa.
मेरे प्यारे पापा मेरे दिल में रहते मेरी छोटी सी खुशी के लिए सब
My father raped me. He forced me to have sex with him. I was a child and he fucked my childhood.
Yes, Papa.
भौरे की गुंजन है मेरा दिल, कब से संभाले रखा है दिल तेरे लिए तेरे.
Welcome to ITV Gold, Geetika, and congratulations for just having won Best Actor Award in the female lead for your film Yes Papa at the Boston India Festival.
Thank you so much, Nidhi, and it's my pleasure to be here, and thanks for having me.
Pleasure is all ours. Tell me, how was the feeling? How did the audience sitting there and watching your film react? Share some of the comments, feedback and reaction from the audience.
Yes, see, Yes Papa, when it was when we started it, like before the screening, I gave them a trigger warning that it's not an easy one to watch, and physical abuse in a very subtle manner, mental abuse, psychological abuse are very much a focal point of this film. So yeah, this was my initial speech and before the film, and I wanted to talk about it and they wanted to talk about it, so we just kept it for the in the end. So yeah, when the film got over, people were stunned, people were a little shaken up, and so I watch it objectively now. Even I get shaken up. I can't sit through this film anymore. So I told this is exactly what I told my director Saif Haider Hassan, that I have already seen it twice in our screenings, but now I keep myself away as an actor and I watch it objectively, and it's difficult to watch. So I kept this thought in my mind and I addressed it, and I told the audiences exactly this, that ये थोड़ी मुश्किल है. तो film खत्म हुई, and the best, see, of course, people.
Did you have a Q&A after the film?
We did. And over there, the Q&A session became more of a discussion. So because a lot of people had so many things to say, people were participating बहुत बढ़ चढ़ के. They were eager to know how we perceived this. They were eager to know about the process. They were eager to know about many things, about like filmmaking process as well as the emotional process related to the film. And एक और अच्छा incident ये हुआ that one person came up to me after the screening, a woman, and said, I've kept this thing inside my heart for so long, but I went through something like this, but I never talked about it, not even to my mother. I was so scared, and things like this, incidences like this, when people share them with you, you feel that, oh, this is like everywhere.
But somehow, as you mentioned, there was a person who walked up to you and said something similar happened. Is it easier for a person to talk to a stranger rather than their own people, rather than their own mother or family member?
Absolutely, I completely agree with you, because with them it's a different equation altogether. That is why one is always comfortable talking to a psychologist or a psychiatrist, about her or his experiences, rather than sharing those experiences with their own friends or maybe family or relatives, because वहाँ judgmental हो जाते हैं, वहाँ पे वहाँ कोई डर नहीं है. Objectively you can share your thoughts, you can share your whole life with them, with a stranger, because वहाँ पे डर नहीं है किसी चीज़ का. And plus all they need they're seeking basically approval, validation कि उन्होंने कुछ गलत नहीं किया. So जो भी जिन्होंने भी मुझे ये बताया था, I never wanted to, I didn't feel like asking, कि कौन था, क्या था. I just listened.
Yes.
And I don't know whether it was her father or uncle or who, but yeah, the experience she went through, and I can completely understand that, she's after having lived with the same family, with the same set of people, relatives for so long, what she must have gone through, what she must be feeling right now, और आज उन्हें वो उस आदमी को देख के कैसा लगता होगा. So all those experiences, they as an actor also, they just make me learn so much. So और an actor obviously applause मिलता है, आपको accolades मिलता है, और आपको बहुत सारी शाबाशी मिलती है, वो an actor lives for something like that. But उसके अलावा when people come up to you and share their experiences कि this movie has stirred these emotions in us and made us reflect and or whatever, now we can get the support that we need. हम अभी खुल सकते हैं. That is something more important for me.
What made you do this film? It is a subject that requires a lot of emotional and mental strength, not only from the actors but also from the audience.
इसके दो aspects हैं. I'd like to answer your questions in two aspects. I'll divide them. First is, I'm a greedy actor, and when a script like this comes to me and it has so much to offer, it has a prominent role and full of emotions and full of ups and downs and so many variations and modulations to present, I will definitely jump at it. So that was my first reaction as an artist. But as a woman, I wanted to tell this story. I wanted to live Vinita's life. I wanted to understand her psyche, her psychology and everything, and I wanted to put all my energy out there so that her story is told. And I really felt that this story needs to be told. And I believed in my director's conviction, because he was so convinced. He wanted to make this film anyhow.
But this is like a very controversial subject. Did your family or friends try to talk you out of this?
Not really. I've always chosen my path as per my conviction, and my parents have been always extended and given me such a huge support in this. So definitely I didn't face any of those issues. But yes, people did told me about like how difficult it's going to be, how difficult it's going to be, like when you're selling the film, people will not be like so receptive, they won't be they won't accept it, commercially it won't do good, all those things we get to hear. And I'm sure our director also, must have what, like he did go through a lot of these questions, and every second day they was like, आप ये क्या बना रहे हो? और आप ये क्यों बना रहे हो, so something like that हमेशा एक center of discussion रहा था.
But bravo to you, because you've done a lot of offbeat films, and of course you had this strength. Why don't you talk about your film journey?
Okay, so I'd been doing theatre since my childhood. Because of my grandmother, I got into this field because वो बहुत शौक रखती थी theatre का, art. She was very inclined towards arts and theatre and reading and everything. And in my summer vacation, I used to visit her, and then that is how my journey started with theatre workshops, summer theatre workshops. And she made me participate in prestigious workshops of Delhi, And after that, when I grew up watching all these like shows and going to.
Who wanted in your family for you to be an actress?
My grandmother.
Your grandmother.
Nanima.
अरे वाह. Did she ever teach you ऐसे करो वैसे करो पुराने गानों पे dance, anything?
No. She just took me with her wherever she went, and she was very fond of plays. She was very fond of theatre. So yeah, she took me there, and that's how my journey started. But my father was from Times of India. My mother was a writer reader. So घर का माहौल नहीं था. घर का माहौल journalism की तरफ, लिखने की तरफ ज़्यादा था. So that's why I chose my career in the field of journalism first. So theatre एक point पे आके रुक गया. फिर I became a journalist, and after that I came to Bombay. वहाँ पर भी मैंने 2 साल journalism किया. But जैसे होना था, I think वो हुआ, and I gave up everything and I got back to my theatre, and that is how it all started. Like one thing led to another, and from my theatre journey, the serial, I got this serial called Powder. Yash Raj Films was launching its TV segment. You know, it's तो उसमें Powder आया, और Powder के बाद कुछ films किए मैंने, जैसे What the Fish, Atma, 1/2, CRD, and abhi recently Class of 83 with Nagesh Kukunur. I've done City of Dreams. Here it's available on Hulu, and yeah, so they are like couple of and Tera Mera Tera Mera. They're like a couple of films.
That's quite a tongue twister.
Yeah. It's an out-and-out comedy film.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay. From serious role to comedy, you have a great range, I must say. Then,
Thank you, thank
what do you
you.
enjoy the most?
I enjoy anything and everything which has something to offer. Like if I'm making a difference to your story, if I'm a part of like, you know, as I always say, length is not a fixation for me. You know, of course, I love playing leading roles, but prominent, very substantial, and a women-oriented role that is my favorite.
Coming back to Yes Papa, sometimes incestuous families have their own unique dynamics that may minimize the problem as not a big deal. Blame the survivor for the abuse, deny the incest is occurring, and even threaten the survivor with physical harm, family isolation, or withdrawal of financial support, among other impacts. Without giving away too much of your film, how does the society react to Vinita, the character that you play, after the incest is exposed?
The society is very brutal. You know, these things do not go down well with the society at all. So yeah, you give some sympathy to Vinita, but at the same time you
blame her?
You blame her in a way, like one section of the society may blame her, you know. जैसे कि आम राय होती है सोसाइटी की कि लड़की ने ही कुछ किया होगा. So yeah, and obviously in this Vinita has her own set of demons which she is fighting. In her interpersonal relationships, she is not very forthcoming, and I'll not give yeah, I'll not talk much about my film because it has many you know, like
layers
hidden,
to it.
Twists, and you'll come to know how important are those twists are, basically how important those twists are. So basically Vinita जैसी बहुत हैं जिनके साथ ये हुआ है, but they are not ready to talk about it because their mothers did not talk about it. You know, because when they confide in their family members or mothers, especially mothers, and they choose to keep quiet, the whole trust, the whole confidence, the whole childhood plus youth just go for a toss.
So this has been going on for generations, I would say, because mother को भी उसकी mother ने नहीं सिखाया होगा या इतनी strength दी होगी कि आप बोलिए अगर आपके साथ ऐसा कुछ होए.
So this particular question was one of our main topic in our Q&A in Boston. So you know, one section was saying that इसलिए नहीं बोला होगा, like this I said that इसलिए नहीं बोल पाती हैं कुछ कि where would they go with their kids, you know, कहाँ जाएंगी if they confront their husbands. फिर एक सेक्शन ने बोला कि no, this happens in wealthy families also. So but वहाँ पर एक अलग ही है, you know, they judgmental जो जज करने वाला हिस्सा है वो बहुत बड़ा है. How will we face the society? लोग क्या कहेंगे?
लोग क्या कहेंगे?
ये एक बहुत बड़ी चीज हो जाती है. It's a universal issue.
It is.
And then some people are just plain sick. You know, they don't know what they're doing. And it's not like that we are sympathizing with them. It's like they need help. They need to be taught that it's wrong. And so that's why child sexual abuse is a grave matter which should be addressed globally. It's not just like, you know,
confined to India.
Yeah, one segment's or one person's problem. It's a bigger, it's a very big problem that should be addressed.
True.
Yeah, universally.
Moving on to my next question. No one wants to talk about it. Incest is called a taboo. It is one of the most hidden forms of sexual assault and one that was not even addressed during the Me Too movement. Your thoughts on that?
So yeah, as filmmakers, as actors, our call to action was to put some spotlight on this hidden parasite or hidden demon of our society, which create more monsters and more demons, you know, and they go unnoticed, they go unexposed or unconfronted because or with no accountability whatsoever, because their wives and sisters and, you know, the women of the family choose not to say anything or turn blind eye towards their behavior. So that was our whole motive कि इससे अगर ये हो सके तो मतलब dialogue create हो जाएगा. Our job was to create a dialogue. We wanted to start conversations. So that exactly what we kept in our mind, you know, कि difficult story है, बहुत subtly तरीके से दिखाया गया है. It's not like that everything is in your face and people can't see it and, you know, whatever. ऐसा नहीं है.
Like,
but
honestly, I cringe, you know. I haven't seen Delhi crime so far because I don't think I can handle it. I've seen the documentary, but it ends there for me. Somehow I cannot see it dramatized and in your face, like you said.
Beautifully done, but हाँ, डिपिक्शन एक बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज रहता है फॉर फिल्म मेकर्स, ताकि ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लोग देख पाएं. तो इसके अंदर हमने ऐसा कुछ नहीं दिखाया है, बट एवरीवन कम्स टू नो कि क्या हो रहा है. सो दैट वाज द आर्ट एंड वेरी सटली डन, एंड ऑल द क्रेडिट गोज टू सैफ, our director, who has managed to, you know, put it out like this. So इसीलिए वो इमोशनल ज़्यादा है. आप that is why you can connect with Winnie and you understand her aspect and her perspective also. So ये इस तरीके की हम लोगों की कोशिश रही कि we have to start something so that people can come out, at least people can feel brave enough to at least talk about it. और एक डायलॉग तो क्रिएट हो कम से कम.
Do you think our society has progressed that much that they will be able to talk about it, or there will be debates? And you think so?
I feel because we have social media, you know, we have so many social mediums and platforms that people are intelligent enough to, you know, I'm sorry, I'll just take it again. So now I feel that we have so many social mediums, you know, today, and platforms that give people more courage to come out and, you know, talk about their journey and talk about their experiences. चाहे वो anonymous करके ही लिख दें, पर वो आ तो पा रहे हैं, you know. And then we had like many movements in the recent past, you know, why only child sexual abuse, any sort of abuse, you know, many women came out, many boys, many men came out. And child sexual abuse तो ऐसा है that, you know, which can rob off our children so much, like their childhood, their sense of security, trust, innocence. So why are we turning blind eye towards this? You know, we have to address this monster.
So most of the times incest is not even reported because of the shame and guilt the survivor faces. Do you think schools in India are taking steps to educate boys and girls on this?
I would say not much, but करना और चाहिए. Many more actions are required. We are doing very less right now.
Even media is not really talking about it. They have some political rally to talk about and, you know, do
I
stuff.
would say that, you know, education is so important, and it can happen by talking. It can happen by creating and forming more solidarity groups. It can happen by creating more support groups, you know, where people feel secure, you know, feel safe. Okay, fine, he's also talking about it. He's just like me. She's also, you know, experiencing and has experienced something like this. She's just like me. I can feel safe and talk about it in front of these people. We need more and more support groups and solidarity groups like that. And of course, schools में तो सिखाना ही चाहिए, you know, and सिखा भी रहे हैं.
But it's not enough.
It's not enough. Good touch, bad touch है, बहुत सिखाते
Maybe urban schools may, but not at the village level.
Exactly. अभी because we have time difference, तो मैं अभी कुछ पढ़ रही थी in day before yesterday, I think, or yesterday, किसी ने बोला है, किसी कोई political connected है, नेता है या जो भी है, वो बोल रही है कि आप sanitary pads के बारे में बता रहे हैं, अब आगे क्या बताएंगे, condoms के बारे में, so stop it. उन्होंने इस तरह की कोई कुछ इस तरह का कोई बयान दिया है या बोला है वहाँ के स्कूल को, but how मतलब she should be ashamed of it. because you know it's education. You're educating your girls ताकि वो बहुत सारी चीज़ों से embarrassment से बच सके, you know, hygiene को follow कर सके, and you're actually discouraging them. That is not what we need.
In your personal opinion, how can the victims of incest deal with the pain, trauma, and shame? How can they stop blaming themselves, hating their own bodies for what happened to them? What can they do to feel accepted by society and regain their self-esteem?
Well, I'm sure an expert, you know, would be the best to give a comment or an advice on this. But as a person, I would feel that, like I said, that we need to find she or he would need to find more solidarity groups where he can or she can speak about it. You know, she can at least come out and feel a little relaxed. You know, वो मौका जो उसको कहीं नहीं मिला, कम से कम बात करके मिलेगा. And seek psychological help. Go to psychiatrist and you know seek help. There is no shame in it. वो उससे बहुत फर्क पड़ता है. At least कुछ साल जाते हैं लेकिन आगे के साल बच जाते हैं.
Very true. How did you prepare for this role? And once the film was complete, how did you come out of the character?
So again, I was asked this question over there also, and I think in Delhi also someone asked me the same thing. This has been one of the most challenging roles of my career, not in terms of physical or emotional, but in terms of mental. Like, you know, the whole I'm talking about the whole equation. As you know, it was very tough because it's not easy to depict or do something of this sort, where a person has gone through so much, you know, since her childhood, and then it's just not easy. And plus, I think I don't know how much have I done or what justice have I done, and मतलब कितना विनीता ने सहा होगा या मेरे से कितना हुआ, I'm not very sure, but yes, it wasn't easy.
You won the Best Actress award. Everybody else is sure.
Thank you so much. But yes, I used to feel jittery. I used to feel so jittery all the time, you know, like I used to tell my director, okay, this is
Did you become
easy.
Vineeta in the process? Did you feel like her?
Yes, I'm a director's actor, but for this role, I did feel her. I did feel like her. I did feel her pain and what emotion she's going through. There were times when I just I used to be dazed. I used to just sit and stare at the wall, and you know, my director was like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine." The scene was very heavy, and you have to give me at least some time to come out of it, you know. So when it started, it was fine because you know, we used to crack jokes on stage on the set, and we used to talk and have lunch and everything. But as the journey progresses, you know, as the journey progressed, it was becoming heavy for me. And there were at least, I would say, 3 scenes where I took my time. It wasn't easy for me to come out. I was all shaken up.
You just had a breakdown and a
Absolutely. I had a huge breakdown.
How was the experience on the sets and working with your co-actors and the director?
It was a beautiful experience. As I said, we worked very hard, and the journey wasn't very you know, smooth, and we were shooting at the time of you know, COVID also, so those were the concerns. So many things were there, but my co-actors were lovely, the team members, and in fact, I would like to thank all of them. Without them, the journey of Yes Papa wouldn't have been possible.
And they also won some awards.
Yes, so Divya Seth, who plays the judge in the film, has won Best Supporting Actress, and Anant Mahadevanji, who plays my father in the film, has won Best Actor in Supporting Role, Male. And Saif Haider Hassan won the best trophy for best film.
How wonderful is that? Wow. So when you go back, you guys are going to have like a
Yes.
huge party, right?
Yes, I'm carrying 4 trophies.
Wow. What is the look of the film when we talk of the technical aspects, matching the mood and the theme of the film? How were the colors, sound and camera movements choreographed to depict the intense drama in the scenes?
We've kept it very subtle. It's in black and white, and the look and feel of the film is not at all, as I said, in your face. We have kept it bare minimal. And yeah, the music and background are the soul, basically, of the film.
Okay. Your film has taken the festival route. What are your plans for its release?
So yes, we have full plans to release it, but we are getting overwhelming response right now. People are loving it, and we are showing it to students and lawyers and government bodies, and we intend to present it to as many people as we can, like who matter basically, in this subject. Before we release, and just because we are getting good response, we would like to stick to this route right now. And
you mentioned you showed the film to the women organizations and bodies.
Yes,
and,
so we showed it to Delhi Commission of Women, and the response was amazing. And they took some time out to gather all the women, and they watched it, and then they tweeted about the film also.
Do you think a film like this needs to be taken seriously at the government level? They should release it, or give some tax cuts?
I absolutely feel it's important.
It's
and
an
if
important
it happens,
film.
it'll be lovely. It would be amazing if it happens, because then if it becomes tax free, more and more people can come and watch it.
Of course.
All stratas, like any, like lower, middle, higher, anything. Anybody can come and watch it. Yeah, it'll be like more accessible to them.
So Geetika, what kind of films and projects will the audience see you in the future?
Okay, so I am going to be featured in a film called Dukaan after this. It's on surrogacy, and I again can't talk.
Another offbeat film?
No, it's not an offbeat film, but it's an important film. It's a commercial film. It has songs, it has dances and everything, but yes, it talks about surrogacy, which is again a very, very important subject. So yeah, that is my next, and the other things are in the pipeline, and I'm not allowed to talk about them.
Wonderful. So Geetika, any closing statement before we conclude this interview? Why should people go out and watch your film?
People should definitely go out and watch Yes Papa whenever it's releasing, because it's an important film. It talks about such a sensitive topic of our society, which is child sexual abuse, and we should not turn our eyes blind towards it, because this needs to be addressed. It steals so much from our children, and then generations kharab hoti hain. So definitely we need to address this. We need to curb it and address it globally, I would say.
Indeed, we should. Thank you so much for talking to us and making a film that will give strength and courage to those who are the victims of incest, and we pray that they take the right steps and reach out to those who can help and stop the abuse. Thank you, Geetika, for talking to us.
Thank you so much, Nidhi, for having me and giving me this platform to talk about my film. Thanks a lot.